Gearbest have kindly sent me another drone to do, another big boxed one, and it's all come nicely packaged, not a piece of damage on it at all. The slight skag there is when I caught it with the craft knife or standing knife to get it out of the box, so that was my fault. I'm really pleased about this. It's the Syma X8HG, as you can clearly see. Just going to have a quick run around the box. Obviously got features on the front there, nice clean box, black with nice crisp photographs on. Got all our features and functions down here, but I'll be going through the transmitter as I usually do on the reviews and seeing whether it's good, bad or indifferent. And onto the back, obviously this one's got HD camera, so I'm looking forward to seeing that, and it's supplied in it's not a gimbal, it's just a camera holder, camera cage, and obviously it does flips, which I don't quite understand with these big ones, but I'll give it a go. If it will do it, I will try it for you. And then on the bottom there's a load of text actually compared to what we normally get. So that's the cardboard box out of the way, and just wanted to show you it's in moulded polystyrene and it is very well packed. There is anything that needs to be taped down is taped down, so there's nothing floating around in the box at all. It's, you know, nothing's going to get damaged, which is, you know, key when you're waiting for your quad to come. The transmitter's all pushed in the back here as well, and again nothing's going to move around or get damaged. I'm well impressed with the packaging. So that's everything out of the box, and it's pretty impressive how much they sort of got in there. There's some quads I review, you get like 4 different items. This one you've got basically everything lobbed at you, I think. And the running through everything, the quad looks really nice. I do like the colour, but it's how it flies really impresses me the most, so I'd be quite interested to see that. The LEDs looks like they're going to be quite bright, but we'll see that later on in the review. The battery itself is a 2000 milliamp hour. It's a 2-cell, and we'll see how long a flight that gives us. And to charge it, they give you a little charger here. I think it only puts out at 800 milliamp hour, that's certainly what the plug puts out, and it doesn't look as though it can do anything in here, so I wouldn't imagine it does. Charges through the balance port, so that's going to take, I would have thought, sort of best part of 2 hours to charge, so I'll probably use my, well, I would definitely use my balance charger. I suggest if you're getting up to this level, you're going to want spare batteries and things, get yourself a decent hobby charger, balance charger, and I'll put a link down in descriptions to the one that I used. You got 2 complete sets of props, which is great. You've got spares of everything actually. The little clips, these are have I come across these on a couple of other quads, but it's a new thing to me how they fit these on, with these little plastic clips here, and then you use a little pin to hold them in position on your props. I thought these were them, but this is a complete set of spares, so you know, anything you lose, they're so tiny you could lose them quite easy. They're there, so brilliant stuff. You've got a USB to micro SD card adapter there, and I couldn't find the card for a while, and then I looked in the most obvious place, which is actually in the camera, so it's already built into the camera housing, and we'll be fitting that on later. You get the cable that goes from the camera to the body to get the power, and also so that you can control the camera with taking stills and video. You get obviously the obligatory Phillips screwdriver, which I would imagine you can strip this whole thing down with. The landing gear looks pretty big, and we'll be putting that on. Look forward to that. And you get a set of prop guards, which is going to make this one big beast. Once that's put on, it's almost going to double the area of it. I shan't be using them, but if you're new to flying or you're not confident with the flying, then obviously they're a really good thing to do. And then I think last but by no means least, I hope, is the transmitter. I'm quite looking forward to getting out and flying, and it's a decent size. It's definitely a toy grade one, there's no argument there, and you can tell it's got altitude hold because both the sticks are centralised, so I'll be interested to see how the altitude holds. I've been reasonably impressed on some, but quite disappointed with others, with the way it can drop from the sky or it can just pulse up and down. It is bad for video and it's not very good for precise flying, so be interested to see how the Syma copes. Okay, so I've got the battery on charge, and while that's happening it's always a good time to have a go through the manual, and on this one there's quite a little bit of assembly to do as well, so we'll be doing that in a minute. Basically it's a booklet. It's quite thick actually, it's got a lot of pages in it. It's very big and bold on the text, which is good because I just find it a lot easier to read. You're not struggling with things. It's all in English, which is great, so you're not fighting through Chinese and English. The only thing it misses is an index of how to jump to things and everything, but it's not difficult to find the bit you're after, to be perfectly honest. The translation is pretty good, and there's photographs as well to help you with putting bits and pieces together rather than describing. So no, it's really well put together. I'm quite impressed with it actually, and very easy to read. As I say, it literally runs through everything that you could possibly want to know. So if you're new to quads, this will get you going. If you're an experienced pilot, then you'll just skip to the bits you want to find out what's different on this transmitter, or if you've not fitted these props before, how to fit them. And again, done with photographs, which is useful, much easier way of doing it. And yeah, and then obviously sort of problem solving, parts list, and that's us all there. Exploded view of the quad, which is quite handy. So if you need to strip it right down to change your motor or anything, it's very helpful. It's really well done. Yeah, well done Syma, you've done a good job there. To assemble the legs to the body, I find the easiest way is to just pop the screws in sort of half a thread or a thread down. There's a spigot that lines up into the body itself, so you can get it nicely aligned, and there's no problem there. And then just using the screwdriver provided, you can just screw the legs into position. Nice and solid. Just make sure you plug the USB cable into the camera before you assemble the camera unit onto the quad body, and then slide the camera unit onto the quad, and you notice it locks in position. To release it, you simply just press this button here and it will release it. It's a really nice good fit on there, and then all you have to do is connect the cable to the quad body and you're ready to go. As you can see, the arms of the quad are clearly marked with letter A or B, and what you must do is put an A prop on the A and obviously a B prop on the B. I don't know why it has a 1 on it, there's no reason for that at all, but A on A basically. If you've not come across how these are mounted, it's becoming quite a common way of doing them. Basically what you need to do, I find the easiest, is to give it a little bit of upward pressure and then a slight turn. You hear it click, probably camera probably didn't pick that up, and then you simply drop this out the way, and then this little shaft here goes into the hole there, and that's what actually holds the prop in position so that it can't fly off. We simply take off the collar, pop the actual prop on now, and then it has to line up. It sits on a hexagon here basically, and so it needs to be lined up and then pushed fully down, and then it should float quite happily. Need to pop this back on, and then what you do is just line up the little slot here with the where the pin will go, and try and do this so you can see it on camera, and then you just simply slide this in. I have used small pliers to do it before, and sometimes that's easier, but it's gone in fine this time. Just make sure it's sitting well within this collar, and then just simply you can turn it either way, and then when you get it, well, that one clicked in okay. If it starts to struggle, just give it a little bit of pressure upwards, and then it drops it onto a couple of pins that hold it into position, and then your prop won't fly off. And all you have to do then is put the cone on the top, and this is just literally a push fit, so just slide it down. There we go, and we're good to go. You need 4 AA batteries to power the transmitter, and they're not supplied with the quad, so make sure you've got those in. If not, you won't be flying. And then flick it on to make sure everything's working. Okay, with both the quad turned on and the transmitter, you simply go up and down on the throttle, and then you see there was flashing LEDs on the quad, and now it's gone to stable LEDs, so basically it's bound. And we can, to put it into idle mode so it's ready to take off, we can either go up and down on the throttle, bring it down to the center, and then it actually starts to go in idle mode, so it'll just sit basically ticking over. And then to stop the motors, you can just pull it fully down on the throttle, and that will stop the motors. The other way of starting is you can pull the two together, and do the same again, and it will stop them, and you can use any combination of those. It'll start it every time. I'm going to run through the whole transmitter now. Basically, you've got an LCD down the bottom here, and that's showing us, I don't know if they pick it up on the camera, but basically graphics of what this done. So this rotates the quad, this pitches the quad forward and backwards, and this rolls the quad. The throttle works up and down, as you can see, but I'm not going to push it too high up because it's just going to stick it into idle again. And it's altitude hold, so basically the throttle one is also spring loaded, so if you just let go of the throttle, it will hold its level, but it's not GPS locked or anything else, so the model will drift if there's wind or anything, so just be warned of that. If you want to change the rates, and it always starts in low rates, there's a little L here. You simply press this button once, and then you get a double beep, and it goes into high rates. So it goes faster, basically. The pitch will increase usually, and the pitch and roll, and the actual yaw usually increases as well. So if you're a beginner, start in low rates, and it's a good way to start anyway, to get familiar with the quad itself. If you want to go into headless mode, which basically means that no matter what direction the quad is facing in, forwards is always forward, so even if the quad was at an angle like this, forward would always be away from the initial launch place, basically. And to activate that, you simply hold this button down for about 2 seconds, and you get a constant beeping. And if you notice, the LEDs on the actual quad itself flashed as well, so that it was going into headless mode. There we go. So to take it out of headless mode, just quick press again. Hold it down for a second or so, you get a long beep. So it hasn't altered what rate you're in, but it has taken it back out of headless mode. The beeping stops after a few beeps, as you noticed, but the lights will keep giving a very intermittent flash. This and this are your trim buttons, so if you're getting any drift or it's starting to twist, you can adjust it with these, and there's loads of information on the web about setting trims. But this button here, this slider here, which is usually trim, actually takes a photograph. So if I push it upwards, it takes a still photograph. You saw quick flash on the LEDs around the quad, and also on the camera as well. You get a little flash of red where it was green, and if you come down on it, it activates the video. So you simply pull that down, you get a beep beep, and then you can see it's flashing on the general lights and LEDs on the quad itself, on the body, and then you're getting a flashing red LED on the actual camera body itself. Turn that off, you simply pull it back down again, and that stops it recording. Just be warned, if you're recording when you're flying, obviously that's the whole idea of it, don't run the battery too low, and don't turn the quad off without actually stopping the video here, because you can corrupt the last bit of the video, and that means the video is usually pretty unusable. You've got a flip button here, so if we simply press that, and then it waits for a command. Either way, it won't do it when it's static, it has to be in the air for this. And then if you want it to flip right or left, forward or back, and it will just do one flip, and then it comes back into normal controls.